All right, good evening, everybody. We're already off to a hot and late start tonight. To be quite honest with you, I thought the start was happening at 8:30. That is on my end. So yeah. Anyway, we're having UTRGV tonight playing against North Dakota State. The Vaqueros going against the Bison. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into the interviews. Not waste any more time. We're going to go ahead and talk to the Vaqueros, the away team for tonight.
In that area.
All right, UT Rajiv, how we doing tonight?
Fine.
Doing good, Mr. Late Dance.
Yeah, that's on me, guys. I I thought the game was starting at 8:30. Sometimes, you can have a couple of blunders. Can't expect professionalism from the best. But anyway, when talking to the best, I think I could be talking to them right now, as I am talking to an ex-championship winning coaching staff. How are we feeling tonight going on this late night road game, especially getting off to a late start? The team might get a little rowdy and all. How are you getting the team settled in and getting ready for tonight?
You know, and just have extra time to game plan, just extra time to watch film, uh, again extra time to prepare. So just hope that we just forward.
Orpheus, that's a beautiful outlook from a beautiful man. Sneak, you know, a lot of people feel like they know what to expect from you on the defensive end, kind of going forward. What should we expect from you tonight? Are we going to see more of the same of what we've seen from you, or are you going to start adding something new to your bag of tricks?
Um, it's kind of just more or less trying to still maintain the same mindset that I've always had over the past seasons. But I'm also all about new things and what works, seeing what doesn't, and it's gonna be a mixed bag for the most part. But we're definitely gonna stick to the same kind of game plan that we always have been having. But other than that, yeah, that's gonna be a mixed bag of new tricks and old style plays.
All right, Sneak. Well, I'm excited to see the combination, the recipe per se, that you mix up in your bag tonight. Best of luck to you, to the Vaqueros coaching staff. I'm going to go on and head over to Martin now with the North Dakota State Bison with the home hosting tonight. How you doing tonight, Martin?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So hey, I mean, this is a classic RFCL matchup. We got Orf going against Martin. How are you feeling about this?
Feel pretty good. I mean, we're kind of a mixed bag. I've got my coordinator with me tonight, so we'll see how it goes.
That's big. That's big. Not able to get that up on camera due to the late start, so I do apologize for that. But anything that we should see new from you tonight, or should we expect something new from North Dakota State? Better yet to ask.
It is a new playbook, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, a new playbook. We're going to be keeping an eye out on what's new in your bag of tricks. Seems like Sneak has a new bag of tricks as well, so bag of tricks going all around the stadium tonight. Best of luck to you, Mart. I'll see you at halftime. Or Martin, you're not Martin.
Appreciate it.
All right, see ya. All right, and we are getting everything up on our end. That way, y'all can start watching this beautiful RFCL matchup on this Wednesday night, as we have UT Rajiv heading into North Dakota State, and they are going to be getting the ball first. North Dakota State coming in ranked at 24th in the nation, and the Vaqueros are going to bring it up there to the 20 for second and 8. Some quality issues coming in from home base so far. Hope to see that improve. If not, we might have to jump over to the North Dakota State film room to see how their quality translate for tonight's stream. As it's going to be Mays Jr. back in the pocket in the pistol look, and he's going to stretch it to the outside, and that's going to be, it looks like Sawyer. Oh, no, Sano? Duke Sano bringing it up for Pretty big carry there, 8 yards as he gets the first down as they're down at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vaqueros. And that's going to be Sano again. That time it's only going to be for 1 yard as that's Noah Taylor bringing him down. 2nd and 9 at the Vaqueros 31-yard line. Go ahead and y'all score predictions tonight in the chat. I want to see who y'all think's winning tonight's game. Is it going to be the North Dakota State Bison? Is it going to be UTRGV? I know. I just want to think who's the favorite, who's the underdog tonight. I want to see what y'all think about everything. However, that's going to be Sano getting taken down again. This time in his backfield for 3rd and 15 at his 25-yard line. The Bison defense looking to make a statement on this first drive of the game, as UTRGV lines up in trips here on 3rd down. Mays throws it up, and it gets bobbled in the air. However, that pass was completely covered as he tried to toss it to Jamal Stokes, but it falls incomplete for 4th and 15. Looks like UTRGV is just going to go for the punt here, throwing some extra guys in the backfield as well, just making sure that this kick is fully protected. North Dakota State sending some extra blockers back, seeing that adjustment as they're not going to field this punt, and this punt's going to go ahead and roll to the 22-yard line. UTRGV getting bailed out with an amazing punt and an absolute blunder by the returner on the play. We'll get a name on that returner later. However, he's just the returner for right now that made an awful blunder on the play, putting North Dakota State at their own 22-yard line as the Vaqueros now have a little bit more field to work with on the defensive side of the ball than we originally thought. Bison send a man in motion, and that's going to be number 8 on the carry, taking it upfield. We'll get a name on him shortly as well. Only bringing it up for a yard as he brings it to the 24-yard line. 2nd and 9 at the Bison 24. And that's going to be Hayes getting taken down at his 10-yard line. The Vaqueros pass rush absolutely relentless there. The defensive tackle getting the big play there. Only 2 tackles on the season so far, and then stepping up for the monster sack as we are now looking at 3rd and 19 on the Bison 10-yard line. Vaqueros answering the strong defensive statement that the Bison made on this first drive so far, as we're now looking at 19 yards. Hayes stepping back to pass, and he's going to get hit from behind. That's 2 sacks already by the Vaqueros defense as he gets taken down there at his 7-yard line, and it looks like we are getting paused, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? Seems like we are at a quick delay. We're going to jump back into things quite soon. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Go ahead and stand by. Was it y'all? Oh, yeah. Oh, it was Martin that needed it. Okay, cool. All right. Well, keep kicking ass, guys. Oh yeah, he just messaged me. Oh yeah. All right. I just realized my mic is on, so I'm gonna go back and stream. All right. I realized my mic was on the stream. Just chatting with the UTRGV coaching staff. Looks like Martin needs to get auto pass on for him. This serves as a useful reminder for all coaches. Keep your auto pass on, or turn it on before the games. Always want to avoid situations like this. We might be waiting on a word from leadership in terms of how this is going to affect the outcome or how we're going to start this rest of this game going forward. We might not. I'm not really sure. However, we will stand by for any messages that we get. We will be delivering them in live time, making sure everybody watching is informed tonight. So far, we got 8 concurrent viewers on the stream. Right now, we are in a delay because Precious Martin didn't have his auto pass on. We will get this game on, and we will get this game running at some point tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is a good time right now to go ahead and drop your score predictions. We got really nothing else to cover at this exact moment. That way we can just get our score predictions in. Of course, I am calling this game, so I don't want to show any bias by giving off my prediction. So show me who's the favorite. Show me who's the underdog. Show me some chatter here in the live chat, everybody. We still have time. Game is still loading. Yeah, I mean, we still got time. So go ahead and throw your predictions in while we wait. Better yet, do y'all think it's going to be another overtime game, or do y'all think it's going to end in regulation tonight? Welcome to the viewers that just joined in on the stream. We are still in a delay at the moment. Instead of a weather delay, I like to call this an auto pass delay, as we are waiting for this game to get back and rolling. It was a 0-0 game middle of the first quarter when we left off. However, we're about to jump back into some action with UTRGV and North Dakota State. Looks like we're just going to start from the top. I have no message from league leadership saying otherwise. Looks like we're starting from the top unless I am informed otherwise. Again, stream started a little late tonight, and then we are off to a late start due to Martin's auto pass not being on. But it looks like we are good to go ahead and jump back in to North Dakota State as we are loading in to home base. Still waiting to get some audio from them as well. And we are good to go ahead and go live as we are in North Dakota. Beautiful night in the dome. UTRGV will be getting the ball to start off this restarted contest, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and drop your predictions in the chat. Who's going to win tonight? Are we going to see another overtime game? Are we going to see what is on the rankings wise an upset? But I want to know who's y'all's favorites. I want to know who's y'all's underdog tonight, as UTRGV is going to bring it up to the 17-yard line. It is 1st and 10. This game is back on the road. May's back behind center tonight. He takes a snap, hands it off upfield. That's going to be Sano getting tackled in his backfield for 2nd and 11. North Dakota State getting off to a hot start with the tackle for loss to start tonight's game off. Looks like they brought the outside linebacker down there on the blitz, executed it perfectly, able to get Sano down in his backfield. And they're going to hand it off to Sano again. He's going to be taken down, this time for a gain of 3, as we're looking at 3rd and 8 on the UTRGV 18-yard line. Vaquero is looking to make a statement, as they are at the 14th hardest place to play tonight. The crowd is going crazy. May's back to pass. He's going to throw it, and it is going to be intercepted at the 30, bringing it to the 20, to the 10, and he's going to get knocked out at his 9-yard line. We are looking at 1st and goal for the Bison. This dome just got the roof blown off of it, as we're looking at 1st and 10. Hot start tonight for the Bison. Exactly what you want with the game getting restarted. Are we looking at potential controversy here? The story will continue as we're looking at 1st and goal. It's going to be Hayes back taking the snap. And that looks like Moreno taking it getting it tackled in his backfield for 2nd and goal. Not the way you want to start out after the interception. However, you're still in a good position as you're 10 yards away from your end zone starting this drive. On 2nd down, as we are looking at the single back bunch look, and Hayes is going to step back to pass this time. He's taking his time, and he is going to get sacked. UTRGV back at it with the big pass rush, as that is going to be Woback getting the sack there. A little bit of time to get up there. But however, we're looking at 3rd and goal from the 16. A lot of options here if you're North Dakota State. However, all of them need to get you in the end zone, or at least not lose you the ball. Is this going to be Hayes stepping back to pass? Hayes throws it midfield. He gives it to Lance. Lance brings it into the end zone, and he brings it in for a touchdown. Amazing way to start the game for North Dakota State. The Vaqueros get a chance to respond. Early on still, let's see if they can get control of this game, or if North Dakota State is going to run away with it and get another turnover on defense. And also, are we looking at potential controversy with the Martin controller, or not being on auto pass situation? So no, not off to the hot start that they wanted on that drive. Mays, of course, throwing the interception as well. What do you do if you're the Vaqueros? They do hand it to Sano, who is now cold. He brings it up for only a gain of 2 as he tries to break it outside, as we are looking at 2nd and 8 here. Mays Jr. takes the snap. He hands it to Sano. Looks like there was a read there, and he does do the give read. He brings it up the middle of the field for a 4-yard gain as we're looking up at a 3rd and 4 on the Vaquero 22-yard line. North Dakota State is completely losing their mind in the dome again, showing why they're ranked 14th hardest, and they take Sano down in his backfield as that screenplay just gets absolutely blown up. That's going to be Donovan Woolen making the big play there for the Bison defense, as we are now looking at 4th and 9. Vaqueros are going to get the punt off, and they're going to coffin corner it, or attempt to, but Booth is going to take it back upfield, and he's going to bring it to the 42-yard line for a Bison first down. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night as we have Kentucky State playing against my team, North Dakota, which should be an absolute beatdown. Liam or Monster, if y'all are watching tonight, I hope that you guys are well prepared. Of course, not for our game, but for the aftermath. As that's going to be Hayes handing it to Ross, the 3rd, as he's going to bring it upfield. 4th, 2nd, and 2 as the Bison are now marching in Vaquero territory. Not where you want to be if you are the Vaqueros. And this is going to be... Couldn't get his name there. Don't want to be wrong on it. I thought I originally read Moreno, but I don't think that is his actual name. It's 3rd and 1 for the Bison at their 33-yard line. Plenty of options that they have here. They are in 4th down territory, so they could go for the big play here. They could go for the safe 1-yard gain. What are we going to see from the Bison as they are going to line up for the gun? Hayes is going to take the snap. He's going to throw it upfield. That's going to be Lance again on another crossing route. Nathan Hayes and Brian Lance have been an absolutely lethal connection so far on those quick hitters to start this game off, as that's going to be a 2nd reception. This time for a first down. First play was for a first down, if you guys do remember. First and 10 here from the Vaquero 24-yard line. Hayes back to snap, takes the ball, steps back, and they're sitting the pass rush there, and he's just going to toss it to the curl route. He's going to throw it at his feet. It's going to fall incomplete as we're now looking at 2nd and 10. The Vaqueros are in a big position at this point to respond. First drive through an interception that almost turned into a pick six, give up the touchdown, and then they answer with a 3-and-out. And now they are letting the Bison march downfield on him as we see the bunch formation again from the Bison, and they're just going to hand it up off downfield to Ross. Ross is going to bring it up into the red zone for 3rd and 5 at the Vaquero 18-yard line. That is Charles Ross III. That's a freshman bringing it upfield on that play. Bison looking to make a statement as we're still pretty early in the season. They haven't started off completely clearing the table, but however, that is going to be Hayes back to pass, and he's just going to overthrow it there as we are looking at 4th and 5. We have a Dejon Hood saying yo in the chat. What is going on, Dejon Hood? I have no idea who Dejon Hood is. But yeah, going off tonight's rankings, North Dakota State is the favorite for tonight. So they are playing like it as they have made a statement so far. And they are going to go for it here on 4th and 5, lining up in the gun. And that's going to be Hayes back to pass. Throws it upfield. That's going to be Ince. He gets hit. However, he gets taken back behind the sticks. And the Vaqueros do respond. They don't let any points. And they get away with 1st and 10 on their own 17-yard line. The score is still 7-0. And that's going to be Sano bringing it upfield. And he breaks a tackle. And he's going to get a big gain there as it takes 2 men to bring him down to the 26-yard line for 2nd and 1. Opportunity here for the Vaqueros to make a big play here. However, the Bison fans are making it hard for them as Sano is going to be now taken down in his backfield. We're looking at 3rd and 3. And Sano taking a while to get up. Not what you want to see if you're the Vaqueros in this situation. We'll get an update on Sano's injury situation as this game progresses. And so that's going to be Stokes letting the pass fall incomplete. Not what you want to see if you're the Vaqueros. Another 3-and-out. Drives have just been stalling out in this game so far. As that punt is going to get off, it's going to take a while in the air. And that he is going to take it upfield. He's almost going to bring it into Vaquero territory as he has it at the North Dakota State 49-yard line as we are looking at 1st and 10. With 2 minutes to go left in the first quarter, the score is 7-0. North Dakota State looking very dominant so far on defense, driving the ball a little bit on offense. However, their last drive did stall out with a 4th and 5 turnover on downs. And that's going to be an inside zone for 3 yards. And it's not Moreno, it's Capinu. I might really need to get glasses. We'll continue with developments on that as well as we see the single back look here from the Bison. Hayes is going to step back to pass. He has a few men open here. However, he's going to get drilled by a Vaquero defender. Exactly how you want to respond when you are the underdog on the road and you're now looking at 3rd and 13, putting the ball back in Bison territory. Third and 13 here from the Bison, 46-yard line. Hayes back in the gun. Taking a little time here, making sure he makes the adjustments that he sees here. As he does take the snap, Hayes is going to get it off. Vaqueros do send the heat, and they are going to bring it up to the 41-yard line as we are now looking at 4th and inches. Time running down in the first quarter. Still going to have enough time to get this play off. And it looks like the Bison are going to bring out the big boys here with the goal line look. Are we going to see the same from the Vaqueros defense? We do. It's the heavy versus heavy. It's goal line versus goal line. Will the Bison execute? And they do. They dive straight upfield for the 1st and 10 at the Vaquero 39-yard line. We're looking at 1st and 10 here. Time winding down in the 1st quarter. Looks like we are going to get another playoff as he throws it over the receiver's head, not giving the route enough time to develop there. We're looking at 2nd and 10 now. That's Hayes overthrowing it. Or I should say underthrowing it. Threw it behind his receiver. Second and 10 here. We're going to get another play here in this 1st quarter. Hayes making some adjustments. And he's going to get the pass off. He throws it to the end zone, and that's going to be incomplete. Are we going to see a challenge here on the play? I think he might have gotten his foot in there. Are we going to see a challenge? Let's watch this replay. Vaqueros, give us time to watch this replay. And, ooh, nah, his foot did fall out of bounds. Looks like we are not going to see a challenge on this play, and rightfully so, the ball did fall incomplete. However, great effort there by the Bison as they were inches away from taking a 2-possession lead to end the 1st quarter. However, it is 3rd and 10 as Hayes steps back to pass, and he's going to throw it outside, and that's going to be Lance again. That's Lance taking it upfield, and again, some quality issues coming in from the UTRGV film room, who is providing us with tonight's stream so far. All right, just have to make some quick adjustments there as well, as we are looking at 1st and 10, and that's going to be Capinu taking it upfield. He jukes outside, brings it up to the 10-yard line as we are now looking at 2nd and 10. There we go. Anyway, we're here at 2nd and 5 now as the screen pass does get blown up there. We're now at 3rd and 5 on the Bison 10-yard line. Hayes has been pretty hit or miss so far. Every play that we've seen him that's made that's been pretty big has been because of Lance. So if we see the Vaqueros key in more on Lance, are we going to see that same production from Hayes as he steps back to pass here on 3rd and 5? And that ball is going to fall incomplete. Are we going to just see the field goal attempt here? Are the Bison going to get aggressive here? Let's see what Coach Martin does at this situation as we have 7 minutes to go here in the 1st half, and Coach Martin is going to go ahead and send out the field goal unit. And it looks like the Bison are going to kick it here. Vaqueros are going to send the house, try to block this field goal, as they do not. And wait, did that fall incomplete? Oh my God. The Bison miss it wide left. Absolutely unbelievable. Complete blunder by Coach Martin. Not where you want to be, as this game is still 7-0 as the Vaqueros take it upfield, and only for a gain of 1. That's going to be Sano. He is back in the game. Seems like the injury was not as serious as we thought earlier tonight, as we're looking at 2nd and 9. Mays back to take the snap. Not the hottest start tonight from him, as it's going to be an incomplete pass again, that time attempting to throw it to Johnson. -5 yards through the air so far tonight for Mays. Not what you want to see from the Vaqueros. And that's going to be Mays taking it upfield. However, he does slide, and he only picks up a yard on the play. Again, not where you want to be if you are the Vaqueros. And it looks like they are making a change. And it looks like they're going to be bringing Jack Marius the fourth in. We will be confirming that in next drive if we see him come out of the sidelines. Are they handing the clipboard over? We will see soon, and we will be asking them about that at halftime. 1st and 10 here from the Bison 35-yard line. Another chance to extend on this lead. Are they going to execute? At this point, they had plenty of chances to execute. However, they've let it stall out every time. They've found some way not to. Vaqueros are staying in this game, however, by a hair. As it's going to be North Dakota State taking it to pass the ball out of the strong high, and Hayes does get blown up there. That is now 3 sacks tonight by the Vaqueros, as that's going to be Jeff Hughes taking him down, the senior defensive tackle, for a loss. We're now looking at 2nd and 14 here. Bison now lining up in the gun, not relying on the under center look again, as they did get blown up last play. And that's going to be Hayes again back to pass. Hayes does complete it, however, and he does take it upfield, and he brings it into Vaquero territory, or almost, as he does get down. They are going to call it at the 50-yard line, looking like he did take the ball across the field, but he is going to be called down at the 50. It is 1st and 10. Bison are driving again. Are they going to be able to execute this time, or is this drive going to stall out? Giving the Vaqueros another chance to tie this game up before halftime. Hayes hands it off. That's going to be Campagno again, and he's going to be taken down at the 40-yard line. They're going to call it before the 6. We're looking at 2nd and inches with 5:29 left to go here in the first half. 2nd and inches here. Pistol strong look from the Bison. They're going to send a man in motion, and they are going to pitch it to Nelson. Nelson's going to get a little shifty there, and that is going to be enough with the outside leverage to bring it across the sticks. That's a 1st down for the Bison with 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. And North Dakota State's doing a great job of staying in control of the clock tonight as the home team. Exactly what you need to do if you're Martin. Again, haven't had the perfect start to the season. However, this is how you want to recover. Hayes back to pass, and he does get taken down there at the 44-yard line, as we are looking at 2nd and 14 here for the Bison. Second and 14, Bison back in the shotgun look. Are we going to see another play here? Are they going to try getting the ball back in Lance's hands? He is out on the island there. Hayes is going to throw it upfield to Ross. That is the running back for a, looks like a 6-yard gain there. It is now 3rd and 8 at the Vaquero 37-yard line. Hayes back in the shotgun look. 3rd and 8 here. And it's going to be another heavy pass rush. The screenplay gets blown up again. Are we going to see another field goal attempt? Are they going to punt it? Looks like North Dakota State is sending out the field goal unit again. And it is a fake. He takes it on the rollout. And that's going to be another sack for the Vaqueros. They get the ball at their own 48. They are now in a position to take back control of this game. Because if you do remember, the Bison did kick off to start this game. they will get the ball to start the next half. And that is going to be Jack Marius back to pass. He's going to complete it, and that is going to be a 4-yard gain. Lemarius Jack Marius the fourth there. Continuing a long-standing RFCL tradition, as Jack Marius lines up again in the shotgun, it's going to be the bunch look. North Dakota State with a lot of men on the line. They do send a rush. It is going to be a screen play. However, it does get blown up. We are looking at 3rd and 8 from the Bison 47-yard line. First time tonight that the Vaqueros have been in enemy territory. We're looking at 3rd and 7. Jack Marius alone in the backfield. He's going to get the pass off. It's complete. He brings him down at the 27-yard line. However, that is a Vaquero first down. And Jack Marius keeps it that time. However, he gets taken down. Looks like the give read was wide open. However, Thomas Roberts, the outside edge rusher, is going to blow that play up there. Jack Marius back again in the shotgun look. He's going to step back to pass, throws it downfield, and that's going to be complete. That's going to be Stokes. It's going to be a 10-yard gain there. We're looking at 3rd and 1. Absolutely monster, or 9-yard gain. Absolutely monster drive so far by the Vaqueros. This is exactly what you want whenever you make a quarterback replacement, giving them the momentum of this game back in their hands. That's going to be Sano. Used to be hurt in this game. He's going to bring it in to the end zone for a touchdown. Absolute recovery by the Vaqueros. An absolute blunder by the Bison. They have had every chance to take the lead. However, this game is now tied up, potentially going into half. There are 2 minutes left on the clock, but amazing time for the Vaqueros coaching staff. You know that Sneak and Orpheus are all in a good mood in that Vaquero chat. I cannot wait to see what they have to say about this quarterback change whenever we go talk to them at halftime. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you turn notifications on for RFL live streams. That way you can stay informed when all RFL and RFCL action is going on. We're looking at 1st and 10 here from the Bison 20 as they're back in the single back look again. Getting sacked last time it happens. Hayes back to pass. Gets sacked again as we are now looking at 2nd and 15 here. Absolute disaster here for the Bison. And we have 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. We hit that 2-minute warning. Took us a long time to get to this 2-minute warning of the first half. However, we are here with a tie ball game. There is a potential of another overtime game tonight. Let's see if this happens. And Hayes is back to pass. He's going to complete it outside, and he's going to get 6 yards there. That's going to be Jacob Kilzer with his first reception of the night. We're looking at 3rd and 9 here. If you're the Bison, you can't play too conservative in this situation and allow the Vaqueros a chance to get the ball back and drive the ball, bleed the clock and score, and take full momentum going into halftime. That's going to be Peyton back to pass. No longer Hayes. And that is Ross getting taken down there at the 40-yard line. Looks like there's another quarterback change as well. Yeah. 3rd and 19. Not where you want to be if you are the Bison. This pass rush has been relentless. You should expect more of it on this down, as this is a money down to send the heat and to protect for the pass here. We're looking at 3rd and 19, and that's going to be Peyton back to pass. He's going to step into it, and he throws it into the defensive back's hand. That's going to be DB Cooper. However, the ball does fall to the ground. 4th and 19, Vaqueros with a chance to take the lead going into halftime. And he does take the return. He brings it up to the 50-yard line. Vaqueros getting the ball again at midfield. This shift of momentum with putting Jack Marius in has been outstanding for the Vaqueros. They're going to run the option. Jack Marius keeps it. He's going to get taken down for a gain of 2. Clock still running as we are now in Bison territory for 2nd and 8. Jack Marius calling a couple of adjustments that he sees. Time still running down, losing 30 seconds between plays there, and that does almost get picked off. We're looking at 3rd and 8 now from the 48-yard line. Vaqueros in enemy territory for the 2nd time tonight. First time was last drive, and they did score. Let's see if we can see more of the same this drive, or are they going to stall out here on this play? Jack Marius trying to get the play call off to Ross. However, the Bison fans are just screaming. He does get it off there. It is complete. That's going to be Stokes bringing it up to the 40-yard line. We have a minute left here. What are we going to see from the Vaqueros? And it looks like they might be sending in the big boys. And we do see a timeout. That is the Vaqueros calling a timeout, making sure they get enough time to get the play that they want off in this situation and stopping the clock, giving them enough time to do something if they get this conversion here. And that is going to be Jack Marius. He gets the conversion as well. That's 2 quarterback sneaks that have both been successful so far tonight. That has been a trend so far here in this league. The quarterback sneak has proven to be a pretty successful play. Clock's not running off as Jack Marius is going to come back in the shotgun look. He fakes the handoff. He throws it outside, and that is Osborne getting taken down at the 27-yard line for another Vaquero first down. Vaqueros are now driving. They are in field goal range with a serious chance to take the lead going into halftime when things were looking very disastrous for them to start the game off. Jack Marius back to pass, steps into it, completes it to the outside, and that's going to be a gain of 3 for 2nd and 7. Vaqueros leaning into the red zone of the Bison. Nismo, yeah, Miami is not the best team in Florida. Whenever they play UWF, then you can talk. Jack Marius does juke the defender out. He is known for his pocket passing ability. However, he puts on the skates there as he brings it into the Bison red zone as we are looking at 1st and 13 from the Bison, or 1st and 10 from the Bison 13. Jack Marius stepping back to pass. 22 seconds left on the clock, and he does get taken down by the Bison pass rush there. We have 19 seconds left to go here in the first half. We're looking at 2nd and 20 here from the 23-yard line as we're knocked back out the red zone. Jack Marius, the 4th, has made a couple big plays so far. Is he going to make another big one to end the half? And he's going to run around. He's going to bring it upfield, and he's going to slide down for a 7-yard gain. And it looks like they're just going to let the time run down on the clock and let themselves kick the field goal here to go into halftime with the lead. And they do get the timeout off in time. Orf is known to make safe and smart decisions. I think that is what we are going to see here from the Vaqueros. And the Bison are going to match their timeout as well, trying to ice the kicker, get in the head of Coach Orf a little bit, and see if he can cause any mental blunders. Vaqueros do get the kickoff, and that is going to be good as we go into halftime. Vaqueros 10, Bison 7. We are going to go ahead and jump into the coaching staff for UTRGV. Hey, gentlemen, y'all have done amazing so far tonight, especially in the second quarter. I mean, y'all offensively looked like you were going to stall. I mean, there was interception, three and out, three and out, three and out, and that were your first 4 drives to start the game. I mean, it was looking bleak. However, your defense stepped up in a lot of big opportunities. You were able to take the ball at midfield a couple drives, and now we're looking at a Vaquero lead going into halftime. How are we feeling?
Refresh on offense. Have a new QB in there, and he's for the most part making the right decisions. He's still a few scares here and there, but that's just what we needed. The other guy just 2 straight weeks of playing cold, and uh, it was just that was just a refresher that we needed. We needed a more competent signal caller.
I Yeah, that's what my second question was going to be about for you. What led to the decision to put Jack Marius the fourth in?
Uh, it's just he has potential. It's just we are redshirting the preseason QB1, and Jack Marius has the potential and just that we would need for running some of these plays in the playbook that we weren't able to run with a pure pocket passer like Gray or Mays. So it's just the perfect player at the perfect time.
Well, I think it's been a great decision so far. Sneak, I gotta ask you. Seems like the closer we get to your defense's red zone, the more powerful they get. Seems like the further they get from the red zone, the weaker they get. It's been a tale of two defenses for you, because I mean, it looks like for sometimes the Bison are just driving all over you, and then at the end of the drive, y'all just step up and play amazing football. So what have been the changes? Have you been making adjustments? More so calling the same thing, and it just works on the drive. How are you adjusting during these drives? What are we doing to adjust going into the second half?
Yeah, it's always one of those things with football. It's like it's a chess match. You don't have to try and plan this and guess what's gonna be called next. Uh, then once you see what's on the field, you make the adjustments in the appropriate time. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. That's been part of our issue. And then obviously, with missed tackles, it doesn't really help. So, uh, but once we condense that field, I think that's when things start to really fall together. So that would definitely explain why the red zone we get a lot stronger, because there's a lot less field to cover. And and honestly, for the second half, I think we just keep doing what we're doing. We've only allowed one scoring possession. Granted, we've had some things fall our way as well, but at the same time, defense is playing good. We're putting pressure on the quarterback. We've gotten, I think, like 3 or 4 sacks so far in this game.
Yeah,
So
the pass rush has just been
we're pressuring. But yeah, that's basically the route we're going to continue going.
Hey, well, that's good to hear, guys. Best of luck to you in the second half. This is a road upset opportunity. Make the most of it. Sneak, prepare your clocks, crack your knuckles, and prepare to play some more of that chess, as your defense is going to be coming out to start the second half, as y'all did get the ball to start the game off. I'm going to go over and talk to Coach Martin with the North Dakota State coaching staff now. Coach Martin, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, we're chilling. We're in the thick of it. So
It's definitely the thick of it. Y'all have had chance after chance after chance to put points on the board tonight. However, we only see one scoring drive from the Bison. How are we going to start executing more on these drives, especially as we get closer to the Vaquero red zone?
part of the decision making process has been taken. No more fourth down attempts. We decided to be aggressive early, and it didn't pay off. So it is what it is. It happens. So that final drive where we had the holding call to bring it 3rd and 19 should have been a first down. So really, we're beating ourselves with decisions and with things that are happening on the field. So just need to put it together. Defense is played out of its mind. That offense didn't do it any favors. So just trying to put it all together here in the second half.
Hey, well, that's a good approach to it. I mean, you do have the home field advantage. You are the favorite coming into tonight's matchup. You have a lot of proof to keep that AP ranking that you have right now. Try not to berate your offensive coordinator too much tonight.
No, it's not her fault. So
Sounds good, man. I'll see you after the game. Well, I assume after the game, but there's always the chance with the RFCL this season with this game going into overtime, so you never know. Anyway, best of luck in the second half. I'll talk to you after it.
appreciate it.
Of course. All right, we're back here for the second half of tonight's matchup. We're just getting everything prepared so y'all can see the game on your end. And there we go. We're back here for the second half of tonight's matchup. Been a long first half so far. Again, it was a 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time start, and it has taken a while to get here for the second half. However, the game is moving now as it's going to be Peyton back to pass. Peyton's going to break that first tackle, and we are going to see another sack. That is going to be Brian Womack. 3 sacks tonight. And Peyton and Hayes are just going to absolutely be seeing Brian Womack and their nightmares for weeks moving forward. 3 sacks tonight, 4 tackles for loss. Absolute monster performance. 2 solo tackles to contribute as well. Everything that you want to see from your edge rusher, as we are now looking at 2nd and 14 from the 10-yard line. And it's going to be Peyton back here to snap the ball, or take the snap, better yet. He's going to make a couple of adjustments before starting to play. And he's taking time again, and he's going to launch the ball downfield. It's going, and that's going to fall incomplete. That was intended to Lance, the star receiver tonight for the Bison. However, it is now 3rd and 14 as on the Bison 10-yard line. Not how you want to start the first half if you're the Bison. You need to get these fans back behind you immediately. It was a long halftime for these North Dakota State fans. Early reports of a lot of incidents. Just not what you want here for this home game for the Bison. Peyton's going to step back to pass again. And he's going to get absolutely drilled. Abysmal drive for the Bison to start this first half, or to start the second half, as the Vaqueros are going to presumably take this punt here. Maybe even past midfield. Vaqueros have scored both times they've gotten the ball at or past midfield tonight. Is it going to happen again? It looks like they're going to get the ball past midfield. They do. Again, they've scored every time tonight they've had the ball at or past midfield. Are we going to see this game turn into a 2-score game and the Vaqueros give themselves a chance to really dominate the rest of this potential upset game? Go ahead and let everybody that you know in the RFCL that we do have an upset alert, as Jack Marius is going to hand it off to Sano, and he does get taken down in his backfield there for 2nd and 13. We're still in Bison territory here. A lot of options if you are the Vaqueros. Still a lot more to learn about Jack Marius. Is this going to be one of those plays here where he teaches us what he's all about? And he does, as he does complete the slant route there to Jamal Stokes. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. We are now looking at 3rd and 7. We get the ball back in front of the sticks there for the Vaqueros, as Jack Marius is lining back up in the gun. He steps back to pass, has a few guys open, and he is going to complete it. That is a physical pass. Sometimes we call that a hospital ball, but that's what the tight end is for. You let him catch those big balls on those physical plays on 3rd downs like that, as we are now looking at 1st and 10 from the Bison 30-yard line. Jack Marius is going to keep it here on the option. He only brings it up for a yard to the 29-yard line. Reminder, we have another game tomorrow night. That is going to be North Dakota, my team, hosting Kentucky State in what should be an absolute beatdown for Kentucky State, I mean, they're just not going to win tomorrow night. They haven't shown us a reason why we should think that. So if any of y'all are betting underground on this, put your money on North Dakota. Jack Marius back to pass again. He's going to read the defense a little bit. He's going to take his time. He's going to gut it back to the 5-yard line, and that's going to be complete as we are now looking at 1st and goal. That is Zach Alfrey with his 2nd catch of the day, this time bringing them to the 5-yard line as we are looking at 1st and goal. Vaquero is lining up in the I formation here. And they are going to hand it off. That's going to be Cole getting taken down at the 5-yard line. Four minutes to go in tonight's 3rd quarter. Vaquero does hand it off again to Ross, and he is going to bring it up for a yard as we are now looking at 3rd and goal. Are we going to see the I formation again, or are we going to see a little bit more of the mix up here from Coach Orr and the Vaqueros? Third and goal here from the Bison 4-yard line. Jack Marius back to pass it, and he does complete it. That's going to be Stokes. Vaqueros taking a 2-score lead. Bison having a lot to answer tonight to protect the home field advantage, to protect their favorite status, to protect their spot in the rankings. Remember, they did get 1 vote as the #1 team in this week's power rankings. Are they going to preserve that vote? Fair catch for the Bison as they're going to get it at their 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bison. Bison are going to line up in the gun bunch look to start tonight's drive off. Peyton sets back to pass, and he does complete it. That is going to be Lance. Lance breaks a tackle, and he's going to bring it up to the 45-yard line. Still in Bison territory. However, we are looking at a 1st down. That's actually going to be the 46-yard line. Bison responding quickly to that scoring drive by the Vaqueros. The RPO action again, that's going to be Lance for another gain. That's going to be to the 42-yard line. Looks like a gain of 13 on that play for another 1st down. Lance has been absolutely electric on those crossing routes tonight. Are we going to see another one there? No, it's going to be a handoff to Ross. He's going to get a little shifty there. He's going to bring it inside the 40-yard line as we are looking at 2nd and 3 from the 35-yard line. Bison are marching into Vaquero territory. Peyton back to pass, and he gets absolutely drilled. That is another big play. That is going to be Womack again. The linebacker stepping up. That is 4 sacks tonight for Womack. Absolutely monster performance. That is what you want to see from your pass rush, and he is making a statement tonight. Are we going to see potential award nominations for him? This is an award level game that we have seen from him tonight. Potential records being broken. We will look into the Vaquero record books and inform the league later on if a record was broken. 3rd and 11 here for the Bison. Need to get momentum back. Peyton back to pass. Peyton reading. Peyton taking his time. He's going to gun it. He gets it off downfield. And that's going to go to the corner of the end zone. And it's going to fall incomplete. Not what you want to see there from Cole Peyton. He is now 2 for 6 on the night. He's been sacked twice. So that's, 8 pass plays they've called. 2 completions. 4 incompletions and 2 sacks. That's not what you want if you are the Bison. What the hell just happened right there? Anyway, as that ball just broke the law of physics, we're jumping into 1st and 10 from the Vaquero 9-yard line. As they do take the ball, they have a chance here to take a commanding lead, really stick the dagger here as we have 2 minutes left in this third quarter. And that's going to be Cole taking it to the outside. He's going to cut up field. He's going to bring it to the 32-yard line. We have 1st and 10, 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Amazing start for the drive here to Vaqueros. Your pin's a little back in your territory, and now you're able to bounce it outside and get the ball moving a little bit. That's going to be Jack Marius. Tight end goes in motion, play stalls for a second, fakes a handoff, throws it downfield, and that is going to be complete as we are now down at the 47-yard line. We are back in Bison territory for the Vaqueros. Again, every time they have had the ball tonight in Bison territory, they have converted either a touchdown or a field goal. Are we going to see more of the same here, or is Coach Martin going to step up? And that is Sano getting taken down again. Sano has not been stepping up the way that the Vaqueros have wanted him to. However, the Bison will keep encouraging them to feed Sano as he gets met at his line of scrimmage again. I think that Sano has maybe had 6 rushes tonight where he has gotten tackled in his backfield. That is not what you want from your bell cow if you are the Vaqueros. Second and 11 here. Jack Marius back to pass. He's going to get the play off. He gets it complete to Osborne. Osborne does take it to the 32-yard line. We are looking at 1st and 10 here for the Vaqueros. We have a minute left here in the third quarter. Clock winding down. Still have some more plays left to go before we start throwing our 4s up for the fourth quarter. Jack Marius back to pass, and he is going to get absolutely demolished by the Bison pass rush. Feels good for them to get their get back. They have gotten one more sack tonight, but it's felt very pale in comparison to the 7 sacks that North Dakota State has gotten tonight, led by Brian Womack, their starting outside linebacker. Just enough time for another play here as time is winding down here in the third quarter. Jack Marius does get the ball off, and the ball is complete. That's going to be Stokes as he is taken down for 3rd and 1 as we are at the 23-yard line, and we are going into the fourth quarter of this game. UTRGV is in the driver's seat as they are in the road as the underdog. Not the result that everybody might have been expecting tonight. However, it is the result that we have in front of our eyes as Coach Orff and Sneak have been pulling off a great game tonight. Pistol strong look here. Are we going to see an option? Are we going to see a play action look? And it looks like we do see the triple option. They hand it off to the fullback, and he just gets tripped up there. Looks like he had a lot of green to work with. Looks like he could have gotten a potential touchdown there. He does get tripped up on the play, and UTRGV is going to go for it. Are they? No, they do call on the field goal unit as they are going to attempt the 42-yard field goal. North Dakota State is playing to contain here, protecting the fake, and they do get the ball off, and that's going to cross straight through the upright for a 43-yard field goal. The score is now 20-7. Vaqueros are exactly in the driver's seat at this point. 13 points ahead with 7:35 left on tonight's game clock. Another field goal might get you exactly where you want to be. Another touchdown seals this up. We'll see if the Vaqueros can do it. However, the Bison do have the ball. It is time for them to answer. Peyton back to pass. And the ball just gets absolutely knocked in the air there. Completely chaotic play. Maybe a play that you thought that Peyton will pull a Brett Favre and try to catch his own pass. However, he just watches it sail past, or just sail right in front of him. Not the effort you want to see there from your starting quarterback whenever you need a leader in this situation. Is Coach Martin going to address that situation? We will see as we are now looking at 2nd and 10 here from the Bison 25-yard line. Peyton back to pass. Flag on the play as the ball does fall to the ground, and that is going to be holding on the Bison. Coach Orff obviously decides to accept that call by the refs. It is now 2nd and 20 from the Bison 15-yard line. Vaquero is exactly where, putting the Bison exactly where they want them to be. Peyton does keep it again downfield. He does have a man open. It is complete to Ross. He's going to take it to the 20, to the 10, and he's going to bring it into the end zone. And the Bison are back in this game. Absolutely monster throw by Peyton. Exactly what you need to get back into this game. A stop here by the Bison defense is going to put them in the driver's seat to take this lead back at home late in this game. However, the Vaqueros have been on fire on offense so far tonight. What are we going to see? Throw your late game predictions in the chat. As the Vaqueros are going to kick this ball off here. Are we going to see a fair catch as the ball is kicked past the end zone? And he is going to take it upfield. And he is going to bring it up to his 22-yard line. 7 minutes to go here in this intense contest in the fourth quarter. Action starting to pick up, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and let everybody in the RFCL know. Let everybody you know, your mama, your father, your sister, your grandparents, your dog, let them know to tune into this stream to watch an amazing end of this game. As Jack Marius is going to line up in the shotgun, it's going to be the RPO getting absolutely blown up in the Vaquero backfield. Bison taking complete momentum. Reminder, this is the 14th hardest stadium to play at, and they are getting the fans back behind them right now. Expect absolute pandemonium from the crowd whenever this play comes back out. And yeah, the crowd is starting to pick back up. The roof is not being blown off yet. The hinges aren't even shaken, but they're getting ready for it. As Jack Darius is back to pass, and he is going to complete it. However, it's only going to be for 7, as we are now looking at 3rd and 7 here. Big play here for the Bison defense to really make a statement and put themselves back in the driver's seat as this game, as it is now absolute pandemonium here in the Dome. North Dakota State is showing them why this is the 14th hardest stadium to play at in the country. Jack Marius steps back to pass. He's going to throw it downfield, and he's going to silence the fans as he completes it to Stokes. He takes it up to the 40-yard line, as it is now a Vaquero first down. Bison only bringing 3 men up on the line. Bring their linebackers up to before the play starts. And Jack Marius is going to complete it again. That's going to be Stokes again. Stokes having a monster game. Jack Marius having a monster game. An absolute statement from the Vaqueros coming off of a Week 2 loss. Jack Marius letting the time run down here. Are we going to see a run play here? Are they going to continue to bleed the clock and keep the Bison defense honest? They do fake the handoff there. Jack Marius is going to gun it downfield. He has a man, and that is complete for a Vaquero touchdown. They respond as well. That is going to be Alfrey, and he absolutely slams a fan in the face with the football, throwing it at Mach 10 speed. Yes, going past Mach 9 there to absolutely knock out a fan. Let's get a replay on that spike. We don't. Hopefully that fan is okay. If we get any updates, we will be informing everybody watching of what is going on with that poor fan. But however, the Vaqueros do take a 13-point lead as we have 5 minutes left in tonight's matchup. Bison back to return the kick, and they do call for the fair catch there. And this game is going to get paused here. Are we seeing a quarterback change here from the Bison? And we have Monarch in the chat now. Monarch is going crazy for Jack Marius. Do we have a potential Jack Marius fanboy on our hands? Huh? Better not be a forfeit. All right, confirmed. Monarch is Jack Marius's #1 fan. You have heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news on tonight's stream. 1st and 10 here for the Bison. They're giving us the empty look now. Looks like that still is Peyton back there at quarterback, and he's going to gun it back downfield again. That is going to fall incomplete there as they almost got it there. Noah Alfano letting the ball sail past his head. Almost another big play there by the Bison. Looks like Coach Martin does have a few tricks up his sleeve that he did save late for the game, and that was one of them. However, he does fail to execute there. 2nd and 10 for the Bison. Peyton's going to throw it downfield again. That's going to be Nelson, and the ball is going to fall incomplete. And we will be sending investigators over to the Vaquero sidelines, making sure that they don't have a supply of butter that they tainted the North Dakota glove supply with, as that is another drop there for the Bison. You know that Coach Martin just has to be fuming. 3rd and 10 here. Peyton back to pass. Peyton's going to throw it downfield again. That's going to be Ross for another completion, dropping the 1st down pass. However, he is going to take it there on the Texas route to the 41-yard line. 4 minutes left to go here in this 2-possession game. North Dakota State needs to get the ball moving a little bit quicker here, as that drive looked like it was going to stall out. And you do see the press up there. That's going to be the press on Lance, who has made a bunch of big plays. He's going to beat the press. However, it's going to be another pass downfield, as Peyton's going to let that ball fall to the ground before it can get to the receiver, as we are now looking at 2nd and 10. 4:26 with the clock stopped there due to the incomplete pass. And Lance is going to be pressed again there on the outside, looking alone. Peyton's going to go step back to pass. He's going to complete it to Nelson. Nelson's going to bring it up to the 50-yard line, as we are now getting close to Vaquero territory. It is 3rd and inches. North Dakota State does need to get something here to get the 1st down to keep this drive alive. Peyton stepping back to pass. Peyton's going to get the ball off. That's going to be complete to Keltzer? I can't read it too well. However, he does bring it to the 20-yard line, as we are now in the Vaqueros red zone for the 1st and 10. Peyton really getting it together here at the end of the game. Is it going to be too late? A little too much, a little too late. Ross brings it upfield. He gets tackled at the 13-yard line, as we are now looking at 2nd and 3. North Dakota State has been marching. We've seen them in this position a couple times tonight, and it has stalled out for them. What are we going to see from them here? As you can now see upfield, they are backing off of Lance, that star receiver, a little bit. However, he does have the one-on-one here, and are they going to take advantage of that? As the Bison do bring a few more receivers over to Lance's side, getting rid of the one-on-one there, taking it downfield to the bottom side of your screen if you're looking at that one-on-one. That should impact how this pass play flows. And there is a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be a false start. Getting a little bit of confusion there down on the field, as there were a lot of adjustments made before that play started. We are now looking at 2nd and 8 for the Bison. Not what you want there. Time burning off the clock, and all for none, as you were not able to get the play off due to the false start flag. I think that he onsides it if he scores, just due to how UTRGV has been playing this half. More adjustments made here by Peyton. Is he going to get the play off this time? He does. Peyton steps back to pass. Peyton is going to get drilled for the sack. Every time they have lined up in the single back tonight, they have gotten sacked. That is Roy Ugwu tonight with the sack, getting his 1st sack of the game as the edge rusher, getting involved in this sack party for the Vaqueros. And you know that Coach Sneak is saying there ain't no party like a Vaqueros sack party, because a Vaqueros sack party never stops. However, North Dakota State there does bring it up to the 10-yard line, as we are looking at 4th and inches. North Dakota State has to execute here to keep this game alive, essentially. And it looks like they are bringing in the big hog mollies up front. They are bringing in the goal line formation. We're seeing goal line versus goal line one more time tonight. The quarterback sneak has worked in this situation both times we've seen it, and it does work again. Bison bring it up to the 9-yard line. Keep the drive alive. The game is still alive, as we are now looking at 1st and 10 for the Bison. Goal line look again from the Bison. Vaquero is matching with 3 men up front. What are we going to see here from the Bison? They're going to run the play action play, toss it to the fullback outside for a gain of 1. Maybe falling out. Yeah, ball went out of bounds there. Gain of nothing. 2nd and goal. What are we going to see here from the Bison? Again, you see another one-on-one on the outside. That is their star receiver, Lance, there. And he's going to cut it upfield. Not enough time for Peyton to get off. That is 9 sacks tonight. Ridwan Jenkins getting involved in the sack party. Again, as Coach Sneak would say, there is no party like a Vaquero sack party. Because a Vaquero sack party does not stop. Those are Coach Sneak's words, not mine. We're now met with the 2-minute warning here as we are looking at 3rd and goal from the Vaquero 15-yard line. Bison having to execute here, getting knocked behind by the brutal Vaquero pass rush that we have seen all night. Peyton standing back there. He's going to throw it outside. That's going to be a complete pass. That's going to be in for a touchdown. That is going to be Bryce Lance again. 6 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns tonight. North Dakota State keeping this game alive. They do have all 3 timeouts. They have a chance. Coach Orff waiting to send the hands team off, wanting to see how North Dakota State is going to line up for this kickoff situation. And it looks like North Dakota State is going to rely on their defense to get them the ball back, as we are going to see them kick it off here. And it's a return by UTRGV. He's going to bring it upfield to the 20-yard line. No fumble there, something you do have to worry about on this play. Something you have seen in the past. That one Green Bay Packer did it. Was it Ty Montgomery that did that? It might have been Ty Montgomery that did that, unless I'm thinking of someone else. All right, are the Bison defense going to step up here? Jack Marius is lined up in the pistol look, and he is going to hand it off, and Sano is going to get met in his backfield again. Another loss tonight for the UTRGV run game. I'm very curious of what their rushing stats are tonight. They have to be absolutely brutal. I mean, they have not been able to get the ground game going all night. Jack Marius back to take the snap. And they are going to pass it this play. It's going to be the screen play. He is able to get it off. However, he does get met before he gets to his 20-yard line. And we are looking at 3rd down and 11. North Dakota State with the chance to get the ball back here. However, they need to execute, not allow Coach Orff and the Vaqueros to get anything more than 11 yards here. Anything more than 11 yards, and this game is over. Jack Marius back in the shotgun look. 2 tight ends here in this look, as well as a running back. Everyone's going out for a pass, and he's going to get drilled. North Dakota State is going to get the ball back with, it looks like, a little less than 1:30 on the clock. And the timeout. They are going to try to cough and corner that one. However, he is going to take it. That is Booth bringing it up to the 45-yard line. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. We are in Vaquero territory. North Dakota State with a chance to win this game. We are in for another intense ending for an RFCL matchup tonight, as Peyton's going to get blown up. That is going to be 10 sacks tonight, 5 of them coming from Brian Womack. An absolute career night for Womack, the senior linebacker tonight. We are now looking at 2nd and 17, less than a minute left, and we are knocked back into Bison territory. Or a little more than a minute left. Now we're at less than a minute. We do get a Another incompletion there. Ball falls to the ground. Peyton needs to step up here, show us off that big arm that we have seen a few times tonight. Third and 17. Peyton does throw it downfield. He does have a guy. He wasn't completely open. He was covered. We're looking at 4th and 17 now. 53 seconds to go here. This play could be ball game. Throw your predictions in. What are we going to see here? This play, is Peyton going to step up? Is Lance going to get another big reception here? Or are we going to be seeing the Vaqueros going crazy for the upset? Fourth and 17 here. Is this ball game? Peyton throws it. He's looking to keep the game alive. We see a flag on the play. Ball falls incomplete, but what do we have here? It is holding. That is the ball game tonight. We are going to see the Vaqueros kneel the ball. Let's make sure everything goes down smoothly. And it does. What a ball game tonight. UTRGV 27, North Dakota State 21. The Vaqueros pulling off the crazy road upset. And we are going to go ahead and jump on into the UTRGV coaching staff. Guys, amazing job tonight. We ended up seeing y'all pull off the road upset. Got scary for a moment there. However, that's not the worst thing whenever you are the underdogs. You're on the road. You're at the 14th hardest place to play. Amazing game by Bryn Womack. 5 sacks tonight from the senior linebacker. Sneak, how did you help that? How did you make that happen?
That's all on him, man. He's a monster. He's a beast. But overall, 10 sacks in a game, you can't ever go wrong with that. No, defense played really good tonight. Obviously had some trouble during crunch time, but overall they played really good. I can't really ask them for more from what they just did.
I think they'll really stepped up tonight. I mean, that was awesome. And Coach Orff, I know you said for Jack Marius, he was the right quarterback at the right time for you. Is he going to be the right quarterback going forward? Is he getting the starting job next week?
Yep, the way he played, just coming out of this insane situation that he was put in, he played great, and ready to see him suit up next week. Not week. Next week. Next week's a bye week. We get our next game is our first home game of the season at WCU, so he's going to get some much needed rest after this insane performance, and then ready to see him go from there.
And yeah, I mean, the first home game of the season, I mean, you're going into this 3-game road stretch, only 1 loss on your sheet. I mean, how are you looking at the rest of this season moving forward? We still have a lot of games left to play. It's 8 games left to play. So that being considered, I mean, how are you feeling about the rest of these 8 games approaching the rest of the league?
I'd say we found our identity on offense, and we're just gonna stick to that, and our defense, and just keep having the same dominating defense that we've had all year.
I mean, yeah, that's a good place to be. Last question. I'm asking a bunch of questions because it looks like Coach Martin is no longer in his booth. I'm not able to ask him any questions tonight, so I guess I'll extend y'all's interview for a couple minutes. That being said, with your offensive identity, looks like a lot of your runs. I think I counted a little bit. Looks like it's about 6 to 7 runs that got just blown up in the backfield tonight. When you speak of your offensive identity, does it mean you're going to shy a little bit more away from the run game and kind of rely on what you saw from Jack Marius to keep y'all ahead? I mean, how are you going to keep people a little bit more honest now, considering the run game was the one weak spot?
I wouldn't even call running a weak spot as much as it was that they just were sending pressure, and our offensive line was worn down for as many plays that we're blown up, we had big gains to counteract that. So it's just it's going to be a more of a steady mix, but lean more on the pass, but not shy away from the run. If the run is presented to us, we're taking it. As we showed, as we're lining up in I form on first down in our own territory.
Yeah. And now ask one more question. This question is for you, Sneak. So you know, it's no question that whenever you were a DC in the NCAA 14 coaches mode, you really stuck to what you liked. You had the 3-2-6. It worked for you. You really liked that. Knowing that this is a different game and knowing that, you have to make these different type of adjustments and use different looks than what you were used to for multiple seasons. I mean, obviously looks like you adjusted well tonight. 10 sacks. We'll look into seeing if that's a record. But I mean, how have you made these adjustments from being someone that really had their system set in what we used to do and then quickly changing to this? Like, how'd you get here?
It's basically just been film study, practice, and seeing just what works and what doesn't. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I tend to try out in game to see if it works, and then kind of realize what's being called and kind of call based off that. And the history of what that play has to that call on offense. So it's basically just it's an ongoing revolving door of just learning, getting better with it, and just like I said, overall learning as you go. So basically, that's kind of how I've put together my whole style. Is just playing a bunch of people and seeing which ones work and which ones don't, and throwing out the ones that don't, and continue doing the ones that do work.
Well, gentlemen, I think y'all have had a great start to the season so far. Again, a 3-game road stretch, only one loss. Really having a commanding win tonight. This should help out a lot with rankings, and this should really give y'all the momentum going forward for the rest of this season. Best of luck to y'all in y'all's home debut next week. Hope Jack Marius gets a little less pressure on him. He's able to make those hot route calls. Anyway, again, good job tonight, guys.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. So again, I mean, we saw a crazy game tonight. Potential record-breaking 10 sacks, 5 of them coming from Brand Womack, the senior linebacker. Sneak making the adjustments that he's needed to make. As we established, he's someone that really stuck to what he knew in our old coaches league, and he's now really proven that, hey, I'm here to make the adjustments. I'm not the same old Sneak. I'm here with a whole new game and a whole new MO. Or showing that he's no pushover as well, showing us why he is a defending national champion head coach. Tomorrow night, we have, again, my North Dakota hosting Kentucky State in what should be an absolute beatdown. Kentucky State has shown us no reason to think otherwise. Hope you get that message, Liam. Hope you get that message, Monster. Anyway, this is Beaver signing off for tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's game as much as I did. Bye.